distance where I'm close enough to the enemies. I'll chest that as well. So, here you go. Wait. Okay, right, so, Defiance Bay. Got quite a few things. So I have to go here.
Defiance Bay. The city at the heart of the Deerwoods Revolution now seems on the brink of another. Refugees line the streets, homeless and hungry, displaced by White One's legacy, hoping for relief within the city walls, and finding none. Dissidents congregate to protest and to heckle, calling for an end to animancy and the ouster of their duke. The city's militiamen cast fearful looks as they patrol the streets, their hands trembling at the hilts of their weapons. The capital of a country that had not long ago incinerated a god now appears to be a spark away from sharing the deity's fate.
Ew. Right. Sounds lovely.
Right.
Eh. Oh.
Those walls surround the whole city?
So. Joining the Crucible Knights is a high honor. Protesting.
Hello.
Roland's arms are crossed and his mouth is set in a grim frown as he watches the gathered protesters. He looks ready for a fight. He sizes you up. New in town, eh? You've picked an interesting time to visit Defiance Bay, and those refugees fleeing the frontier and finding their legacies no better here. It's animancers. Magrans scorched them, and they nest in the city like rats. You mark my words, though, us dozens are going to put a stop to it. What are you doing out here then? He gestures at the crowd, which buzzes with angry chatter, trying to get folk to see reason. We're in the midst of a crisis, and instead of purging the nefarious forces from our city, the duck is granting animancers dangerous liberties. What do you know? What do you know about the animancy? It's the studying of manipulation of essence, which any sane person will tell you is the purview of the gods. Adrian's at least had the sense to outlaw it, which is the only good thing you can say about them. Whoa. Not like magic, chanting, or the soul readings those ciphers do. It's been around since ancient Enwithian times, which is why you'll see animancers tinkering with old Ewithian artifacts. Kaenra raises a fish to cough discreetly into it. Half-truths all, but he's an enthusiastic performer, I'll give him that. He shakes his head. Trouble is, the animancers got no idea what half those artifacts actually do. Not that they'll admit it. Our emphatic friend is correct about one thing at least. Tell me about the dozens. Tell me about dozens. He taps his chest. We're an organisation of interested citizens who want to free Defiance Bay from the dangerous influence of animancers and the tyranny of the aristocrats who support them. We also consider ourselves a militia of sorts, seeing as the Crucible Knights are little more than a flock of preening nobles in training these days. Just like a militia, the dozens is set for the training and the discipline and the code of honour. His eyes gleams, and we've always looking to expand. The more people see things our way, the better for the state of the country. If you have an interest in hearing more, stop by Ada's Den sometime. The Expedition Hall. A lot of free thinkers in there. Can set straight all the nonsense the nobles and the animancers want you to believe. Might even be good pay work there for motivated types. I'd like to know more about Defiance Bay. A deer. He gets a mischievous gleam in his eyes. Aye, I bet they don't teach about the colony that Trous had its handmaiden back in good old Adair, do they? This is the capital of the Free Palatine of Drywood. Drywood. I forgot how to pronounce it. Drywood. Deerwood. Holy moly. This is the capital of the Free Palatinate of the Deerwood. We started out as the capital of the Adarian colony, but we booted the flaccid scepter from those lands 150 years ago. These days, we're a major port receiving trade and visitors from all over the world, but we, some of us anyway, strive to hold on to the pioneering spirit that earned us our freedom a century and a half ago. The city is divided into 5 districts: Copperlands, First Fires, Ondra's Gift, Brackenberry, and Heritage Hill. Tell me about Copperlands. There he is. Here is Copperlands. He tacks a scuffle boot on the cobblestones. It's primarily a market district, but you always get the Expedition Hall directly north of here, where you can join treks into the wilds. It was also where my fellow dozen martyrs and I tend to meet up with other concerned citizens. He points to a long domed building west and north of your position. And that's the Halls of Revered Mysteries. Eerie place, you ask me, but they've got the biggest library in Deerwood. Can alas, eerie indeed. It may be less so if more Kiff stepped inside. Perhaps you ought to visit, Tom, and see just what mysteries are revealed. It's Brackenberry. The nobility that didn't sail back to Adair stayed there. Most of the families there traced their lineage back to the old imperial times. Other than a lot of has-been nobility, you've got Haddett House, where Lady Webb and her spies operate, and Brackenberry Sanitarium, the mass cesspit of animacy in the city, which spits on the cobblestones. About First Fires? That's where the revolution started, hence the name. These days it's overrun with politicians and panderers, but we'll take it back someday. The panderers. That's what we'll find. That's where you'll find the Ducal Palace, the Filian Embassy, and Crucible Keep. He shakes his head. The Crucible Knights were the original freedom fighters in Defiance Bay, but now they're just stirring peacocks with their eyes on fancy titles and their heads up their arses. There's an old temple of Rodica there too. We kept it real nice for her, so that's where we want to go. Eventually. Got the name because it was a wetland that was drained back in imperial days. Now it's a seedy district populated by sailors, common folk, and more than a few thugs. But it's a fun place too, if you know where to look. He winks and elbows you. Look for a place called the Salty Mass when you're there. Other than that, it's mostly warehouses and abandoned homes. Heritage Hill. It used to be one of the most prestigious districts in the city. Heroes of the Revolution claimed plots up there, next to an ancient and wooden tower and the city's cemetery. Had the best views of Defiance Bay. Attracts richer types these days. Lot of animancy patrons. He spits. He glances at the crowd and lowers his voice. You wouldn't have heard, but something happened over there a couple of months ago. The authorities sealed it off and they're keeping their mouths shut. But mark my words, animancy's to blame. Never mind, let's talk about something else. This place is going a bit.
I shall be quiet as a calm sea.
You're quiet as a
Which
calm
is
sea.
not very quiet.
Message? Sick. Cool. That's fine. Goose and Fox. Goose and the fox and the hound and the thing and the actress. Welcome to the Goose and Fox.
Hello.
The man behind the bar is nearly the size of a umaru. A handle protrudes from his back and his face is set in a stoic frown. He gives you a small nod. Here for a drink. There's a tiny pewter cup in front of him. He turns it in one broad hand but doesn't drink from it. Refreshments. Tell me about yourself. Name's Bishop. Used to be a scholar in Bidaf. Now I run the Goose and Fox and keep the regulars in the line. He shifts as you see a warhammer strapped to so that's what it is. And more what more is there to tell? How'd you go from religion to taverns? The journey isn't as long as you think. I started with Hollowborn, and with this, he takes a back bottle from under the bar and fills the pewter cup. It was my sister's son's. He takes a drink. At the beginning of Woodwin's legacy, he was one of the first. I never expected there would be so many after him. Tragedy is part of the cycle, but it's followed by rebirth. Yet every year, more parents were grieving for their hollow-born children, and the gods were silent. So you lost your faith? He leans forwards, crossing the arms onto the bar. Beraf promises rebirth. Cycles, but the only cycle I found was this one. He taps the bar. Have a drink. Have another. And another until I couldn't remember how I got home. Wake up. Come back. I finally woke up one day to see my family had packed up and left. For all I know, they'd left days before I just hadn't noticed. But they were gone. So I came here. I've cleaned up since then, now that I've found my answers. He tosses the cup back. I've just stopped asking questions. A lively place. It was founded in the early days of Deerwoodian independence by a travelling scholar named Earl of the Levy. He wanted a place where kith of all backgrounds could gather and hash out the issues facing their new country. He rests his elbows on the polished wood of the bar. It didn't take long for the place to fill up. Blackenberry aristocrats argued with dock workers from the gift, while soldiers wangled with politicians. The Erudians have never been known to turn down an argument. He takes a sip from his tiny cup. What happened next? Soon, kith were coming from the farms and settlements too. He waved at the door as if expecting a crowd to bustle in. This place got even more popular with the Valerian sailors than the Salty Mass, and that was the problem. He drained his cup. No matter what people say about fair-mindedness and civil debate, there's only so much people will tolerate. Errol found himself on the wrong side of an argument with the wrong Thane, and when he disappeared a few days later, some said it was the work of the Thane. He shrugs, spreading his hands over the bar as he surveys the room. But Errol knew which way the wind was blowing. If you ask me, he skipped down, head out somewhere hoping for rational minds to prevail in Defiance Bay. He cracks a wiry grin. If only he could see it now. Okay, I'm looking to hire an adventurer. To buy first. Sell anything. Don't need that. Lecture stays nice. I quite like the perception resolve though. Yeah, get some bonuses up, I think.
Greetings.
I'll see her. That miserable bastard. Kaenra, a woman sits by herself, spinning something on the table in front of her and watching it with furious attention. It's about the size of a coin, and it wobbles over a crack in the wood with a metallic rattle. She snatches it with one hand and slams a half-empty cup down on the table with the other. This is not a good time. What are you doing here? She takes a long drink from the glass, just trying to calm down and trying to talk myself out of something foolish. Foolish? She says nothing for a few moments, as if hoping you'll leave. At last, Kaenra looks up to you. A lamplight falls across her face. Her purpling bruise is blossoming along her cheekbone. There's something I need to give. There's something I need to give to my fiancé, Purnus. Only he doesn't seem to go anywhere without his new friends, and they're not exactly pleasant company. Tell me about these new friends. They come into our house with their dead eyes and their black teeth. I'm not a fool. I know what it means. Purnik makes me leave when they show up, but it's obvious what they come to do. Last time they came, I told them to get out. Let them have their fun somewhere in the gift, but not under my roof. She scowls and then winces, her fingertips gently probing her bruise. Spine changes you, I guess. The Pruslik I knew wouldn't have squashed a spider. I never thought to. She trails off, still feeling the swollen, discoloured flesh. I thought Seth was just made people lay around and not doing much. So maybe they're making it? Yeah, so I don't know what that is. Probably a drug, the way she's saying it. Skeff. I don't see the joke. She eyes you suspiciously. You really don't know? It's a shrub, I think. From out in the mountains somewhere. It has dark berries, and they treat them somehow. Make this purpley paste. You rub it into your gums, and you're supposed to see, I don't know, amazing things. Your own soul. People who use it, that's all they do. They lay around, seeing things for days. There you go. Have you gone to the Crucible Nights? You tell them my fiancé hit me. She shakes her head. They'll just tell me to stay away from him. They've got too many other problems to worry about. A domestic dispute. I'll do the intellect then. I don't really know. Seemed better than believing he's always been this way. So maybe I could talk to him. Her hands rest on the table and she clenches it into a white knuckle fist. There's nothing more to say. We're finished. I just want to give this back to him and have a clean break. She opens her hand and a ring clatters on the table. Honest, it was my grandmother's. Even after this, I don't have the heart to sell it off. But if I go back there myself, I know what will happen. I'll lose my temper, and I'll probably wind up with another one of these. But I've heard you're trustworthy. What do you mean? I just entered the building, and she's like, "Okay, you're trustworthy, right? If you give this back to him, we'll know we're done." Okay. Oh, yeah, may as well face this person then, eh? The house is just north of here. Just don't hurt him. As furious as I am, I don't want that on my conscience. So don't kill him. I think I could do that.
Margaren's fire casts light in dark places.
Actors. Wait.
I'll see what I can do. The work of a moment.
Spirit Bane, Vessel Bane, and Offwill. Okay then. Maybe you then now. Buy a couple of things for them. When's this thing going to be complete? 5 hours. Well. Don't think I'll be able to get that. So the stairs we go. Hold on Wixel, Dreadshot and Hurdy. Ifla. Key. Oh, thingy names, so let's see what they are.
Good day, stranger.
At Outtro, man relaxes with his feet popped up on the table. Patches of dark brown skin peek out from under a full mane of blue-green hair. He and the Orlan woman with him exchanged laughs and comments with the trio at a neighbour table, and he spins a dagger in his hand. His hazel eyes watch you. You look like you've seen a night or two in the wilds. Joining us for a drink? Sure. Who are all you? The name's the Two-Tone Weasels. The lady next to me is Key. We've found our fun with the expeditions, but we're hoping to enjoy a little peace and quiet for the next few weeks anyway. The man at the next table nods at you. I'm Dreadshot Deedon. This is Hurley and Ifla. We're part of our separate expedition teams, but we both suffered losses and decided to band together. He ticks several items off his fingers. Beasts, barbarians, bailiwicks. It's a dangerous time to be an adventurer, but a prosperous one too. He raises the glass. Here's to many more prosperous journeys. Is there something else you wanted?
Light, flame, and sound. We'll keep to ourselves.
I'll have it in no time. The work of a moment.
Steal everything. I'm going to be a true nice person, but I'm still going to steal everything. I could kill them all. Most unfortunate tale of the Fafi and Bernat, a Phalian tragedy. Morning.
Or whatever happens, at least we're out of that mud hole, Gilded Vale. I grew up in Gilded Vale. Quaint. That's what I meant to call it. No, you had it right.
Crumbled loaves and shredded flyers float in the waters. Marketplace.
Laying low.
Heritage Hill claimed another curious soul. Arrogant. Orla woman bounces up and down as you approach. Remember me? We met by Madram Bridge. Oh yes, she's the one I gave the stolen stuff to. She slaps you painfully on the shoulders. Thanks for helping me out back there. As promised, I'll give you the best prices in town. If it weren't for you, I'd still be broken. I'd still be broke. Okay. Get that just in case. Right.
Yeah.
Is that all you got? She's a soldier down the river.
Hello.
But take your time, traveller. If you're looking for enchanted scrolls or garb, come to the right place. That's pretty good. One pair. I'm gonna lie, I quite like that, but we've got the stronghold coming up. I have to remember that. Really gonna have to remember that place.
Gods keep you.
Well met, traveller. Are you interested in purchasing rations for your journey? Good. We saw the night. Oh. It's expensive.
Welcome.
Vikram stands behind a stall, polishing a broadsword. The pattered flesh around his eyes is crinkled with age, and the muscles in his arms are knotty and lean, but he holds the weapon with ease. He nods to you. Come to take a look. You won't find a finer collection of armour and weaponry in Divine Spay. Outside swords, of course. He flashes a crook tree. What's so special about Solid? He operates in the expedition hall. He jerks a thumb over his shoulder, sells the best equipment in the city, but Wayland keeps her on a short lease. Keeps her fine inventory reserved for chartered expeditionists, members of the dozen, and anyone else he takes a liking